Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the word characters. And I know you've heard that word ever since you were little when mom and dad used to read you storybooks at home because characters are super important. And they're a part of a group of story elements that we are going to talk about all year long. So I want to start off by asking you what the definition of characters are. So if I pop here to the very first slide, I'm going to show you these three pictures and it says, what is a character? Take a minute and I want you to think, what is a character? What is that meaning to you? So on this slide, there are three pictures. I see a police officer, I see some Lego people, and I see a flamingo. Quite the variety in the mixture there, right? So, how on earth are they grouped together or they tied together that I can create a definition? I'm not quite sure. Can you give me some examples? I know there are police officers that come through Penn Trafford, through Sunrise, in the schools. I see them on the streets, right? But this one happens to look like a piece of clip art, right? And then I see there's Lego people. I know there's some movie about them. I know I've played with some toys. I know that there's some Lego kits in our school. So there's multiple varieties, just like the police officers, right? And then there's flamingo. I see the flamingo clip art, and I know there's flamingos at the zoo. So they're all tied together in some way. But all of those can also be in books and somewhat in real life. So how is it a character? I'm going to flip ahead just a little bit, and I want to show you this slide. Think, feel, or act. Think, feel, act. And then I'm going to come back. What is a character? Can a police officer think, feel, and act? Can a Lego person think, feel, and act? Can a flamingo think, feel, or act? Keep that in the back of your mind. And here is the definition right out of the dictionary for a character, right up here at the top. Character is a noun. And if you can remind yourself of what a noun is or remind your teacher, and I'll give you a little hint. It's a person, a place, or a thing. And the character actually happens to take on the person part of that. And right here it says, usually in a work of art. And the character part of this, the work of art, happens to be or could be not just hanging on the wall like in a picture frame. It could be, but it could be on the wall. It could be in a piece of literature or a book, but also in a movie, a character, okay? The example is right underneath here. It says, my favorite character in Goldilocks and the Three Bears is Baby Bear. He finds Goldilocks asleep at the end. So, what character or characters do you hear about? I hear Goldilocks and I hear Baby Bear, and I also hear the Three Bears in that example. So, there's multiple characters, but they're trying to point out Goldilocks was someone's favorite character. So, who would your favorite character be in Goldilocks and the Three Bears if you're familiar with that? I think mine happens to be Baby Bear. But in this example, they're showing you character through Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and they're trying to point out that a character is a person. Now, that person, remember when I showed you this, needs to be able to think, to feel, and or act. So if I go back up here, can a police officer think, feel, and or act? In real life, they can. Now, this clip art police officer, if I put this clip art police officer and wrote a story about it, could that clip art police officer think, feel, and or act? Absolutely. Could my Lego people in a story think, feel, and or act? Absolutely. If I got out my Lego bins and I used them as toys and acted out, could they think, feel, and or act? Absolutely. My flamingo in real life, I know, can think, feel, and or act, which means to move about. But in a story, would my flamingo think, feel, and or act? Yes, which means all three of them in real life and or in a story are characters. So those three words I need you to keep in the back of your mind when we're sorting out, is something a character or not? Now I'm going to come back over here and show you these. So people, animals, toys, creatures, and almost anything can become characters. So I have an elephant here, good old Woody and Buzz, any type of person or human. And we have some monsters here from Where the Wild Things Are. Can any of those people, animal, toys, and creatures become characters? Yes. And only if, what are those three things? Can I hear you? If they can think, feel, and act. Yes. Very good. So I'm coming straight back down here. When is something not a character then? So if I keep telling you that these characters need to think, feel, and act, if something is not a character, that would be when they cannot think, when they can not feel, and when they can not act. So if this young man, let's name him Steve, if Steve is a human being boy, just like any of us, he can think, he can feel, and he can act, right? That's why he has a green check mark. Now, if his good old teddy bear Bob there, if he's just good old teddy bear Bob laying on Steve's bed, if he's just laying there, can he think, feel, or act? No. So is he a character? No. However, if Steve's over here, just like us, right? He can think, he can feel, and he can act. He's good to go as a character, correct? But look what we have over here with Teddy Bear Bob now. I see a speech bubble, which means he can act, right? That he can talk and he can act things out. I see a thought bubble, which means he can think just like us. And I see a little red heart, which means he can feel just like us, like any other character, which means he now gets a green check mark because he can be a character. That's a good thing. That's a go. So when you are not a character, you cannot think, you cannot feel, and you cannot act. When you are a character, you can think, you can feel, and you can act. One more time, do you see it? I know I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. You can think, you can feel, you can act when you are a character. So I have two pictures of two different houses, and I want you to take a minute and I want you to stare at them, and I want you to think about which house would be considered a character in one of those types of movies or books or pictures on a wall. If I had to say, which one would be a character? Which one looks like it can think, it can feel, and it can act? If you said the bottom right-hand corner, you are correct, because I see two hands, I see a big cheesy grin, I see eyes, and I see eyebrows, and it looks like he has facial expressions, right? So it looks like he can feel with those facial expressions. Maybe he can think and maybe he can act. He's showing us something, right? Looks like a character kind of house to me. Good job. Last one here for you to test out your skills on the story element of characters. Ready? It's a banana. Can you do it? Go. I hope you said the banana on the left. He's got those facial expressions just like the house. He's got hands. This guy even has legs and some fun shoes on, right? A big cheesy grin. He definitely has some feelings going on there. Looks like he's thinking of something, and he's definitely looks like he has some acting skills, that he's quite the character. The guy on the right doesn't look like he has any type of acting skills or any type of character going on there. You did a great job. I'm leaving you one last time. If any character is happening here, it is thinking, acting, feeling. Don't forget it.